Welcome to the Lassoing Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Rogers.
And I'm Garth Nichols. Lassoing Leadership is the result of our love of leadership and how Ted Lasso tackles some really tough issues, allowing us to bring to light and learn from them through discussion with incredible people like Jason, my co-host. But also today we welcome Robert Porteous, an educator from Applebee College in Oakville, Ontario. I've known Robert for quite some time as a Cohort 21 coach, and Cohort 21 is a year-long professional development. We're in season 12 of that. He's also an excellent and incredible middle leader in CIS Ontario schools. So welcome to the show, Robert.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Welcome, Robert. It's good to have you.
So excited to be here. My first podcast, as I was talking before. So I'm just really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad we can be your first, and welcome to the show. Now, for our listeners, we talk for around 20 minutes about our favorite characters of the episode, leadership nuggets of gold, and we leave each episode with a leadership challenge. We also try to rename each episode, so we're going to take Robert through all of this. So Robert, for our listeners and beyond the introduction that Garth's already given, tell us a little bit more about yourself. What brings you to the pod?
Yeah, so I've been a teacher for 15 years, and I've worked at a number of private schools, and I've been at Applebee College now for 8 years. I teach currently grade 9, 10 science, but I've been known to teach bio, chem, you name it, I've taught it. And I'm really excited to be here because, as you know, I work with Garth in Cohort 21 as a mentor and a coach, and he had mentioned his podcast and listened to it. And at one of our meetings, through conversations, I ended up joining it, and here I am. So I'm just so excited to be here with both of you and talk about not only the show, but just kind of like the future of what leadership looks like with, for me, two people that I look up to very much in leadership. So
yeah,
well, thanks, Robert. Before we jump in, Garth, and if you allow me, could the two of you share with our group just a little bit more about Cohort 21? I know we have a lot of educators from not just Ontario here, but Canada and around the world. And I think what you're doing in Cohort 21 is really fabulous. You guys give just an elevator pitch for what goes on in Cohort 21 for those who are uninformed and uninspired in that way?
Go for it, Robert.
Oh, okay, you're depending on me. All right, so for me, Cohort 21 is really about educators all over Canada, primarily Ontario. It's within the independent system, and we meet to really just kind of talk about what are the issues going on that we see in education, and it's really about the solutions or what we call the action plan and how we can deal with it. And for me, one of the things I love the most about Cohort 21 is the connection that you have with other teachers. And for me, from day one, when I started in 2018, as soon as I got there and Garth was up there, I remember going, these are my people. These are the people that motivate me and inspire me. And when we all go through ups and downs, or dips, as I call it, in life and in education. And I'll be honest, Cohort 21's really just inspired me to be the best teacher that I can. And when you're around all these incredible educators from all over the country, you can't help but just be inspired. Case in point, I'm going to come back to you, both of you. You both inspire me both very much. So
thanks,
and
Robert.
This is all from Garth, and Garth has led this, and through pandemic too, which was when we did that virtually. That was a little tough, but
and Robert's moved from being a participant to a coach. So this is what I mean by middle leader. Like it's a really cool process. So we now have almost like we have over a 1-to-1 ratio of participants and people who've been through the program before to help keep the culture going. So it's a year-long professional development. We'll put the link in the show notes.
Yeah, so I think this is like true leadership agency. I think what you've developed here, Garth and Robert, over the last decade and more, is bringing people together to have agency in their own leadership and aspire to create environments where organizations thrive, particularly schools. And so congratulations. I think it's a model that people can follow, whether they're here in America or in Thailand or farther abroad. So congratulations.
Yeah, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention my co-founder of Cohort 21, which is Justin Medved, who is also a listener. Speaking of listeners, Jason, what have you heard from your mom and dad?
It was funny, actually. They've kind of gone cold on me a little bit here, Garth. So I have no updates from my mom and dad, but I do have update from other listeners. And I've got a good friend who I've been working with for about 20 years. Her name is Kelly Adams, and she's recently retitled herself my accountability coach with Lasso. And she's not letting me get out of this year without karaokeing with her and her friends. And so
I love it.
Like everything, I've created an action plan, Garth. I've got a list of 16 songs. I'm going to break them down in a March Madness bracket. And once we get to the final song, I'm going to be ready to karaoke with Kelly or whoever else wants to come along. And I know we're going to be together in Vancouver right around the end of this pool. So I don't know, maybe we'll find a little karaoke bar out there and do it. So Kelly, thanks for the accountability partnership. And I think it's one of those things, Garth, where you put things out to the world and you hope that people hear them and hold you accountable. And I think that's got a lot to do with how we lead and how we are professionals in our life. So Kelly, I really do appreciate that, and I can't wait to do the karaoke with you, and we'll see where that goes. How about you, Garth? What are you hearing out there?
First of all, I thank you too, Kelly. That's great. Keep them accountable because I can't wait to see this. For me, what I've found is like a couple people have gotten in touch with me about how much they are enjoying it. But what really struck me is when they're listening to it. So some are listening to it while they run. Some are listening to it on their commute. Some are listening to it as the first thing they do during the day, which is kind of awesome, like to set an intention or something along those lines. So I love that. And as always, we really appreciate any of the feedback. So keep it coming. But let's jump into the episode.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do it.
So this episode is called The Signal. We see Rebecca dealing with family issues while the football team, Richmond, enjoys success because Roy is back on the coaching staff. Jamie clashes with Roy for coaching advice, and during a critical game, all coaches signal Jamie to play aggressively, which results in a goal, also Ted's panic attack and Richmond's subsequent loss. So something I appreciate about this is that we're bringing back mental health issues in this episode. It's been a theme running throughout, a bit of an undercurrent, but much more now in this scenario. So how'd I do, Jason? Good summary?
I think it's pretty good. Actually, I think this is set up quite nicely for the rest of the season. I think this is a bit of a bridging episode that brings out a lot of the items that we're going to see pull us all the way through this end of season 2. And I think there's some great themes for Robert to pick up on. So, Robert, let's just jump right in. I'm dying to know who's your favorite character. There's so much richness in this. Who do you got? Who are you taking?
Oh, okay. So I have 2 favorite characters. I can't pick one, and it's kind of like the yin and yang, or the good versus evil, or I don't know. I love Rebecca. She kind of reminds me of like me, like the confidence, me. She reminds me of the new me in a way. And I really resonated, through the season with Nate. I found Nate just kind of, he reminds me of me in high school.
Yeah, no doubt. Does he ever? Good one. Yeah.
And so those are me. And I'm gonna add one more. I'm so sorry because I'm gonna pull a Garth here and change every episode. I find Roy is hilarious because he reminds me of when I'm really angry, which is not very often, but I find Roy is hilarious as well. So that's my favorites. I resonate awesome with those 3. If I were to pick one, I would say Rebecca. I just think she's absolutely authentically herself, and you can see how much she's growing like all the other characters. So.
Yeah, that's nice. I really like that. And for me, I was debating on a couple of those same people, but for me, it's Beard, and I'll tell you why. Because
Beard,
because I've been getting into researching a little bit more into Stoicism, and I follow this new podcast called It's not new. It's new for me. The Daily Stoic. And I'm really interested in Beard's level of stoicism in the show. So for me in this episode, I go with Beard. What about you, Jason?
And it seems to me you're so inspired that you're growing a beard of your own, Garth. For those of you who are listening or watching, you can see that Garth's got a New Year beard on. Hey?
Yeah, I have been so inspired. There you go.
Is that just more you just trying it out, or forgive me, you're just because you're on vacation? It's like a vacation beard.
No, I've had beard before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just it just struck me. That's all.
Keeps you warm.
Interesting character. So mine is always Roy Kent, and he shines here as always. And as you shared in the summary, Kent gives Jamie some straight talk that he needs when he needs it. He also deeply understands the psychology of Jamie, which I really appreciate. An example is his outright refusal to coach him. This brings Jamie to him, and that's exactly what Jamie needs in that space. And he's the type of person who only wants what he cannot have. And with that, and I really think Kent is stepping into his leadership. And I think that we see that in our own leadership, in our own organizations, is this, we try to treat each individual in our organization the same way. Well, in invariably fail. And I think Roy Kent is seeing that and using psychology to his strength. So love Roy, and he continues to grow. With that, let's jump into the leadership lesson here. What do you got for us today, Robert?
Um, I'm gonna. I think for me, what I'm really the leadership lesson, honestly, is that it's Nate. It's just now I'm seeing this shift in him, and it's kind of I'm loving the Nate versus Roy thing going on. I mean, I resonated for me. Episode 5 was one. I know we're talking about episode 6, but episode 5 really made me fall in love with Nate and kind of see this change in his character. So for me, I don't know, like I'm going to continue. My lesson or leadership is it's going to continue on from episode 5, which is just to make yourself big. That's the biggest lesson that I got, and was just make yourself big. And I'm really a fan of Nate right now. I love the underdogs as an educator. Those are my favorite students to work with in terms of the ones that maybe just kind of got skipped through the system. They're kind of in the middle. I just resonate so much with Nate. And so my lesson, like I said, is just he's making himself big. And the problem though is when you make yourself big, is you can sometimes make some bad decisions. So it's going to be interesting to continue to see Nate's journey and kind of this relationship that he has with Roy.
So tell us more. What do you mean by make yourself big? What do you see in Nate, or what have you seen in your own experience where making yourself big is like, yeah, leaders can and should make themselves big sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes.
I mean, it comes down to confidence, right? I mean, obviously, Nate is learning to be confident. I still resonate when he tried to get the reservation at the table, and if it was Roy that was there, no doubt he would have got that table. And for me, it kind of just resonates with me as in high school, as a young queer kid, kind of dealing with, being quiet, like, so for me, being big is about now being comfortable, confident in who you are. And so for Nate, I'm excited for his journey and seeing what that looks like. I hope that answers your question.
Oh, that is so great. I love that. And what came up for me in that is that at some point in time, Nate is not even, he's big, he's confident, but he's not humble. He's meek at one point, right?
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
I love this because when you say make yourself big, it's like not showy.
Yes, exactly.
Showy. It's have confidence in yourself and like believe in who you believe yourself to be, right? And that you add value, or that you have value to give. That if that's what you mean by make yourself big,
it is
because you're not being cocky, you're being confident.
It's to me, it's commanding the room, right? It's commanding the room. And, as a child, I was quiet. And as an educator, well, all three of us are educators, you have to command a room. Like you have to be able to grab everyone's attention, right? We're on show. And so an example of me where I make it big is I remember my interview for my school. I'm at Applebee College. One thing I always do when I teach my students is I do the superhero pose. And I'm sure maybe you read it, where you kind of stand in that superhero pose, this, Superman, Superwoman pose, and you just manifest and you visualize, and that's something that I do. And I find that to me, making it big is building your confidence. The underlying thing is the confidence part. And as we know, as educators, a lot of students, one of the things I try to do is just build their confidence. So that to me is exactly, again, making it big, but not being arrogant, which is something completely different.
Can I do a quick digression? Because
yes, please.
Researching this podcast requires a lot of screen time. And I've started down the road of watching the Netflix series called Beckham. And it was
good.
It's amazing to see his confidence on the field and how that confidence is not brought over off the field all the time, right? So anyway, it is a great sort of adjacent show to this. If you're interested in leadership, watching Beckham through a leadership lens, the leaders that he has enjoyed in his life as managers of the football teams that he's played for, unbelievable, so good.
I recommend it. I watched it. It was what, 3 or 4 or 5 episodes, and
it's 4 episodes, I think.
You can get through it in a day for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, he's not easy on the eyes. Like his hairstyle over the years too. I'm like, he is a good looking man.
Why do you think I went blonde?
You were inspired. Nice. Jason, what about you? What leadership lessons did you pull out of this one?
Well, as I hear the two of you talk about self-confidence and making yourself big, I think my leadership lesson is completely adjacent to that from a leadership perspective. And it comes from very early in the episode, just after the opening credits. Ted walks through the office and meaningfully connects with every person he passes. And this comes all the way back to the very first episode when he asks Nate his name. And Nate's shocked because he hasn't been seen before in the organization. I can't believe that somebody's seeing him for the first time. We see how this manifests from the very first day when Ted sees Nate and hears Nate, being as big as he is and eventually reaching new heights. So as the episode starts, Ted walks through the office. He addresses everybody by name, which is a real challenge when you're the CEO or head coach of an organization. He asks them something personal, but not too personal. And on most occasions, they stop and share a laugh together. So Liza, he asks her about the ice bucket challenge. Derek, he gives him a thumbs up and gets a honk from the horn. And Liam, he mentions his mother's birthday and says, whatever you give her, tell her that it's from both of us. And gets a really big, hearty laugh from Liam. And I think that's all part of it is how do we connect in appropriate ways in an organization so that everybody feels seen, heard, loved, understood, those important tenets that we come back to. And Ted does this magically, and it's not by accident. Like I guarantee this moment is well written to show who Ted is as a leader. So that's really what I'm taking from it.
Nice.
So
I love that. And that idea of connecting with people individually, you've recognized two things. One, it's essential to leadership. And two, it's also very, very hard. Like you've got to put your time in. So I appreciate that for sure. And like bringing you back to Cohort 21, when we started, we were 12 participants. Yeah. We've grown to like 40, 50 participants. It's something that we really work hard on to make sure that we know everybody as we go through, but it is not easy. That's for sure. So
I'm just going to chime in. I'm going to chime in for a second to say, you both do a fantastic job of that. As you know, Jason, I did your case LI course on faculty culture. You are amazing at making every single person feel welcomed and heard. And that was online. So kudos to you. And just the follow-up you had afterwards, just the check-ins and the emails. And Garth, I mean, if you know Garth, I don't have to say anything. You just make everyone in the room feel heard. And so thank you.
Thanks. High praise, Robert. I appreciate that.
So with that, should we move on to renaming the episodes, Garth? What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Robert, I'm dying to know what you come up with here. Let's hit us with it.
Okay, this was the hardest question. Can I ask you guys to go first? I can go first if you really want to. I just kind of want to, if you want me to go first, I will, but I kind of want to hear your guys before I'm going to go last, actually.
Robert, I'm pretty happy to see you asserting yourself, and so I'm going to further assert myself, and I'm going to say, Garth, you're up first, I'll go second. Robert, you'll bring us home with the renaming episode.
All right, great.
Oh, thanks, folks. I appreciate that. Okay,
our pleasure.
I would rename this Unspoken Messages. It captures the idea of what signals mean, and it also captures what I think, Jason, you brought up so well, which was you are saying hello to people as you walk through, but there's also some unspoken messages that are coming across here. He cares. He knows who I am. He wants to be a part of this, and he wants me to be a part of this as well. So for that reason, I really like unspoken messages, but I went first, so I'm interested to see what else is out there.
This is going to be tough to beat, Garth. I've got, I'll offer leave him well, okay? Ted shares that through his divorce, he learned that the most important thing he learned was to leave people well. Now, in Ted's leadership, and he has a huge heart, is centered on this type of action. Dare I say, his leadership is built around it. We're hard-pressed to find a character in the show that Ted doesn't leave in a better place than where he found them. And as the episode closes, we see Ted in the team psychologist office asking for an appointment. As a leader in this moment, I have to say that I'm extraordinarily proud of Ted. He's asking someone else to help him improve himself and leave himself in a better place. So leave him well as well. So that's leave him well. And with that, Robert, leave us well. Let's have your rename.
Okay, mine is It Will Work Out Exactly as Expected.
Oh,
Oh,
nice. I like
nice.
that.
Thanks.
Nice.
The show has shown me that. This episode definitely showed me that, and that's the lesson that I need to take from this show, because it really, everything will work out the way it's supposed to be. And I do believe that. Obviously, you have to put work in, and I love what you said. I think it was the first couple episodes. You work harder, and eventually, you just luck will kick in. I forget the saying was that you said, but I do believe in that. You obviously have to put a certain amount of effort in, but everything will work out exactly as expected. And these characters, you can't help but love them, and just kind of the journey that they're on, and that everything will work out. And so that's.
I really like that too, Robert, because in the way that you have said it, you've pulled the curtain back a little bit further, which is you can't work. You be careful of working too hard. There are some things that are out of your control, and there's like the stoicism piece, right? Like, grant me the wisdom to know the difference. Oh, I love that. Okay, I think that's the one, Jason.
Oh, God.
All right, let's have it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. And we always close with the leadership challenge. Robert, this is your honor today as our guest.
Okay.
What would you say is our leadership challenge today?
I think our leadership challenge, and it's really fitting that it is 2024, new year, new resolutions. I think our leadership challenge is, I have two. One, take time for ourselves. Really, just remembering to take time for ourselves. I think that, in my present company, I can tell we all like to work hard, but taking time for ourselves. And I think number two is just, Garth said something that really kind of resonated with me, which is just kind of, give people those opportunity for leadership. For example, I'm not in leadership currently. Do I destined to be in leadership? 100%. And Garth giving me that opportunity in Cohort 21 was a great start. So again, for both of you who are in leadership roles, and anyone else who's listening, just remember to look at those underdogs and see their potential.
Oh, so good. Leadership challenge accepted.
Thank you.
Both of them. Robert, thanks so much for coming on the show. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We love to hear that you are enjoying it. We love to hear that it prompted you to watch Ted Lasso as well, and that you're enjoying that show too. So for all of those listeners, a reminder that if you like what you've heard here, rate the podcast, share it with your friends, and all those things. Jason?
And if we're ever going to get Sudeikis on the show, and Robert thinks we're going to get him, so do I.
Yeah.
So we're going to need your support. So Robert, why don't you take us home?
All right. Well, until next time, keep leading the Lasso way, everybody.
Thanks, Robert. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.